Good morning, everyone. This is City Decoded. I'm your host, Sophina Turner, and I welcome you all back to another episode. I believe this episode number 20. Um, I'm going to be talking a little bit about Miss Brittney Griner, the WNBA star who was found guilty of what they call it. I guess it's some form of marijuana. What you call it, HDC, it has in it or something like that. I'm not that familiar with marijuana. I never, I don't smoke it, so. But it was like a oil that was, I think, prescribed to her by her doctor that she forgot that she had in her bag, and when she went over to Russia, and that's when they discovered it when she was at the airport in Russia, and she got incarcerated because of it, because marijuana is illegal over there in that country. Um, she had served already. I guess she spent some time in jail, maybe what was it, a couple months or so before she even went to court. She's been to court a couple times since though, but she was found guilty, and they sentenced her to 9 years. Now, from my understanding, this little oil that's a part of the marijuana world, it's like a little container or such, where it's no bigger than let's say a cigarette butt. So that's what they said. So I mean, I believe honestly, yes, as a grown up and you traveling, you have to have the foresight to do some research when it comes down to this, each country or place that you're going to visit, as far as their laws, so you know the do's and don'ts. I do agree with that. You are responsible for your own actions. I also agree with that. So I don't, I have sympathy for her situation because I believe they took this to the extreme, as far as sentencing her to 9 years in prison. 9 years for something that's a oil that was prescribed to her by her doctor that she forgot she had in her bag, and that's. I mean, I understand there's no excuse. Ignorance of the law. They say that does not make no difference, and I'm sure she was aware of the law because she's been, playing basketball also over there as well. So it's not like she wasn't familiar with the law. But from my understanding, it's a lot of factors that led up to her not even realizing that she still even had it in her bag. And that's no excuse for it. But 9 years to me is so extreme. I mean, they say there's another person, a Caucasian young lady, who got found with actual marijuana, because I think Brittney Griner had like 0.07 percent of that's what that oil contained for as marijuana, whereas this other young lady, she had like 0.17 or something like that, um, and she only got 2 months. She only got 2 months. So what do that say? That's such imbalance. Of course, it's race. She's a black woman. She's also a lesbian black woman, and they don't look very kindly on those two subjects: being a lesbian and being black and being a woman. Because there's another story that came out that I heard. It was of this woman. She's Caucasian as well, but she's a teacher. She was a teacher here in the United States. She's an American citizen. And I think she went over to Russia for, I don't know what it was, why she went over there, whether she was working or not. But she wind up living with this man, and he wind up battering her. And this one night, he beat her up after he'd been drinking. He was out, he was, from my understanding, he was intoxicated, but he beat her up, and he caused injury to, of course, her face, her legs, and I think he injured two of her fingers. And the following morning, he continued with it. And when she went to defend herself, she picked up a knife and she grazed his nose. Only a graze, nothing, no stabbing or anything like that. She just used that as a defense mechanism to protect herself. So he called the police. And then now I know when the police arrived, because this is a white woman, they showed pictures of her. It was all black and swollen, her eyes and her legs, and of course, I'm sure they saw the injuries to her hand and everything. And they locked her up. She'd been serving and found her guilty of domestic violence. And she's been in there now for like 8 months, from my understanding. And at the time when she got arrested, they arrested her. They let her out for a time. She wound up contacting the what they call it, the U.S. Embassy over there in Russia. She went there. They told her, okay, I think it's best that you go home, meaning back to the United States. They bought her a ticket, escorted her to the airport, and that's where the Russian police came and arrested her. And she's been in jail ever since for like 8-9 months. So it's something going on over in Russia. Russia don't like Americans. So I would suggest, I don't mean no harm, that I don't think no U.S. citizen should be going over to Russia, if you ask me. And especially if you're black, no. But we also know, back to Brittney Griner, that it's something political that's going on also, because of, what's going on when it comes down to the Ukraine war, and how, U.S. is, of course, in support of Ukraine, not Russia, when it comes down to this war. And it's just a lot of factors that's involved. She's also, a very popular individual who, she's like a star when it comes down to the women's NBA. So, yeah, she, it's something more to her just being a black and lesbian. It's also because of the factors of what's going on. She's a U.S. citizen. So I think it's very wrong, in my opinion, of them sentencing her for that lengthy amount of time, 9 years. And then I think she's 31 or 32 years old. So that means she's going to be in her early 40s when she finally get out of there, if they actually have her do the complete 9 years. I mean, come on now. That's crazy. That's really wild. I just can't understand, it's just people, the human beings of this world are just so dysfunctional, so angry, so bitter, and so just racist. Honestly, it's just horrible. It's really horrible. But I pray and pray and pray that they are able to, the U.S. is able to get all of them out. All the U.S. citizens that's over there, get them out of the jail. Now, this is a question I have to pose to anyone out there listening. Do you think that they should do a swap? Because I believe it's a well-known Russian prisoner here in the United States who's a horrible criminal. He's a horrible person. He's a criminal. He has done a lot of horrible things. And, he's a known criminal who has done a lot of horrible things. But they was contemplating swapping Brittney Griner and I think a couple of the other Americans that's over there for this individual. So let me know. Y'all check in and let me know. Do y'all agree that they should do that swap? Do you think that's best? That's how, we have to use those tactics to get Brittney and everyone else back home. So, okay, check in with me. Leave a comment behind. Please like and subscribe. If you can, share. I will appreciate that. And I will talk to you again next time. This is City Decoded. I'm your host, Sophina Turner. And I will bid you all a good day.